Hello everybody, Dragonfire here, and I wanted to come at you with a new video. This time I am going to be highlighting some new CDs that I have recently added to my collection. I got quite a few here, but I found some good finds that I had been looking for a while. So yeah, I just want to highlight these recent additions to my collection. Alright, the first one that I want to highlight here is actually a soundtrack, heavy metal. Um, this one has a lot of stuff on it. It's got um, Sammy Hagar singing his song Heavy Metal, which is my favorite Sammy Hagar song. And it, it's got Journey, it's got Nazareth, it's got um, Don Fenler, Cheap Trick, it's got Devo. So, a pretty cool little soundtrack here. If you've never seen the animated movie Heavy Metal, it is a movie worth checking out. It's a pretty cool movie. It's kind of like a series of animated shorts strung together by um, a larger narrative. But anyway, pretty cool movie and pretty awesome soundtrack for that movie. Okay, so that is Heavy Metal, the soundtrack to the movie. I also got Aerosmith, their album Hookin' on the Bobo. Um, it's a Aerosmith album where they kind of go a lot more into their blues style stuff. And I really like this one. It's interesting. I'm kind of listening to it for the first time, but I'm interesting in kind of a different side of Aerosmith. Um, Next up, I got Babylon AD. Oh, I want to say about Aerosmith is that that's a band that I definitely am considering doing their own video soon, showing my Aerosmith collection. I don't have everything Aerosmith has ever done, but I have some of their stuff. So I've been thinking about doing an Aerosmith collection video. But this is uh, Babylon AD. They're a hair metal band. Um, and this is their album Nothing Sacred. And um, pretty pretty rocking. I had a chance to listen to a little bit of this before doing the video, even though I just barely got this brand new to me. How about Billy Squire? Billy Squire, probably best known for his song "The Stroke," which is on this album here. "Don't Say No" is the name of the album. Um, but I've been giving this one a try and getting into some more Billy Squire. Okay, next up we got Cheap Trick. I've actually gotten quite a few Cheap Trick albums as of late. This is their album Standing on the Edge, and I've been adding to my Cheap Trick collection as another band that I may do their own video in the future. Contraband. This is a band that I just happened to buy. Some of these I bought earlier today. Some of them I brought in the last week. Most of these, I think all of these I brought over the last month or two. These new ones that I'm showing you to my collection here that I think most of you haven't seen before on my channel at least. But um, this this contraband is made up of members of five previous bands. Um, one called Shark Island, another one called SMG, and another one, and then Rat, LA Guns and Vixen. And if you've watched my channel before, you know I'm a big fan of Rat, LA Guns and Vixen. I'm gonna have to check out these other bands though, because I'm not familiar with Shark Island and SMG, so I'll have to check those bands out. But it's one member from each of the bands. There you can see the lady from Vixen there, and yeah, you got Tracy Guns from LA Guns, and of course Guns N' Roses is partially named after him. Yeah, it's named after Tracy Guns and Axl Rose. Um, so he is the Guns of Guns N' Roses. Tracy Guns is in this band. So yeah, this was a super group. They took members of 5 different bands and decided to put out an album together in 1991. Dirty Looks. Dirty Looks here. This was a cool find. Um, Definitely checking off my list of some great 80s hair metal bands that I didn't have in my collection before, but I do now. How about Fastway? Fastway, another hair metal band. Look at that cover. That cover. Yeah, it just screams late 80s. Actually, it's from 1990, but very much in the vein of a late 80s hair metal band. So there you go. Some Fast Lane, Bad Bad Girls. Love it. Okay, how about George Thorogood and the Destroyers? I've talked about them quite a few times on my channel for different reasons, but I've never done a whole video devoted to just George Thorogood and the Destroyers, but I think I should. This album here, Haircut, or the yeah, Haircut's the name of the album, and the first song on the album is Get a Haircut. Fantastic. Man, I love that song. I love that song. Definitely the best song on the album is the title track, Get a Haircut, um but still worth listening to from beginning to end, even if the rest of the album is not quite as good as that opening song. But still a great album. Uh I got a Jeff Beck's greatest hits here. Um I also have his album Guitar Shop from 1989. But this is the greatest hits collection that I picked up here. I have a few different Jeff Beck albums. Um, Jimi Hendrix early classics, so some earlier songs from Jimi Hendrix. This is nice because this one has a lot of songs that are not included on like other albums or greatest hits collections. This is very early stuff for him, and um, all of this was recorded between October of 1965 and August of 1967. So some early Jimi Hendrix stuff that some rare recordings of him playing guitar. You can see there it's actually Curtis Knight on vocals, but it's Jimi Hendrix guitar, and some interesting stuff from Hendrix. Okay. Kingdom Come, their self-titled album. This is another one that definitely wanted to check off my list of bands that I had heard of, but I didn't have any of their albums. I also picked up their second, or I think it's their second album, but another album from the 80s. In fact, this one's 1989. Perfect. This one's called In Your Face. So a couple of Kingdom Come albums there. Now we're moving on to Hanoi Rocks. Hanoi Rocks. Yeah. I had always heard of Hanoi Rocks. Some people say that they were actually the first hair metal band before Motley Crue. I think their first album actually did come out a few months before Motley Crue, and so sometimes they're um, touted as the first hair metal band. And so nice to get a collection of their greatest hits. I picked up another Lita Ford album. I is this one? Yeah. Oh, this one's the greatest hits collection. Yeah. So I do have her album Lita, which I think is her best known album. But I wanted to get a few songs that probably weren't on that album. You know, a number of other songs from elsewhere in her career. So I got the greatest hits collection or best of. Lost Boys. This is one that I took a chance on that I'd never heard of before, but I took a chance on it, and I was like that guy on the cover just kind of looks like he's in a hair metal band. So let's try it. Let's see if Lost Boys is hair metal or not. I mean, it's kind of borderline because he kind of looks like maybe he could be new wave, like 80s new wave, but I like some new wave as well. So it's kind of. Let's see, Lost Boys. Let's see if it's any good. I believe these guys are from Canada, so they um, can join Loverboy. And speaking of international um, bands that are sometimes in the hair metal genre, how about Loudness with their album Soldier of Fortune? Yes, this is an international band. Uh, Anybody want to guess what country? Guess, guess, guess. These guys are from Japan. Hair metal band from Japan. There was kind of a parallel hair metal movement in Japan that was going on in the 80s to the Los Angeles scene and stuff that was happening here in America. So Loudness, good Japanese band. Soldier of Fortune. Check out this album. Uh, Love and Rockets. This is one that I took a chance on that I wasn't really sure about. I was like, Love and Rockets. It's kind of like I was like, I don't know about this band. I don't know what they are or what they're going for here. But I was like, Love and Rockets sort of sounds like Guns N' Roses, right? Instead of rockets instead of guns and love instead of roses. So I was like, oh, I wonder, but nah, I would not call them um, anywhere near Guns N' Roses. They're more definitely a lighter rock than that. But it was interesting nonetheless to check them out. This album is from 1989, Love and Rockets, self-titled album. And then this was a huge pickup for me. Lynch Mob. This is a band that I always had heard about, and I was like, okay, see what they got. So I'm giving Lynch Mob a try. I know George Lynch of this band, Lynch Mob. I can't remember now, but I know he was part of other bands as well. I want to say like Slaughter. He may have been part of Mark Slaughter's band Slaughter before at one point, or some other bands. I don't know, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he played in other bands before starting his own band, Lynch Mob. And Wicked Sensation is the name of this album. It's supposed to be a pretty good band, pretty good album. I'm gonna give that a listen. This was a band that I've always heard of, but I've never really gotten into. But I figured, why not just grab a greatest hits collection and check them out? And that's Molly Hatchet. I think my brother-in-law likes this band quite a bit, so I'm checking out some Molly Hatchet. Queensryche. I've been collecting Queensryche, and Queensryche might get their their own video. I think I've collected now all of their albums from the 80s and early 90s. Um, this is Operation Mindcrime, and previously I already had the live version of this album, which is called Operation Live Crime, but I wanted the original studio recording as well. So now I have both versions, the live version and the original studio recording for Operation Mindcrime. And Queensryche is another band, like I said, I've collected all of their 80s stuff. Um, Soul Asylum. This is one that I just was able to get for really cheap because normally I try not to. I don't really like buying EPs. I mean, this one only got 5 songs on it, but I like Soul Asylum, and this one was super cheap. Um, so I was like, for for the I think I I got this one for $2, even though the I can't get the sticker off there. At one time, this was at Record Exchange, I think, for Sound Exchange, no, Record Exchange. I can see the tag there for $3.99, but I actually got this for $2. Where I got it from, I got it. So um, yeah, I like Soul Asylum. I really like their album Grave Dancers Union. So I was like, for $2, I get 5 more songs. Tesla. Tesla. This was a band that I had been looking for a while to try to stock up on some of their stuff. I especially like with most hair metal bands, I'm definitely interested in the stuff they did in the 80s into maybe the early 90s. So I wanted to get some more Tesla, and I got this Great Radio Controversy. I think this is their first album, and in many people's opinion, their best album. And I wanted to check it out. I also got this 5-man acoustic jam. This is the one that has one of their more famous songs on it. The song Signs, and they performed that acoustic version of the song Signs. Signs, signs everywhere, sign. One of their more favorite songs. So this is kind of like an acoustic greatest hits album, and it's got some of their bigger songs, including that song, which became a huge hit, the acoustic version of Signs. But they're definitely not an always acoustic band. They do other stuff as well, and actually they probably deserve their own video. I think I now have all of their 80s stuff. This is another one of their ones. This one is called Psychotic Supper. Psychotic Supper. And I think I have a few more albums from Tesla. Um, I had a chance to see them live one time, but uh, it's a long story, but I ended up not going, so I missed out on Tesla. But I like Tesla, but it's taken me a while to get into more of their stuff. And this was a big find for me. Tough, another hair metal band, one of the lesser known hair metal bands for sure. This is their album, What Goes Around Comes Around. Might have been their only album, or at least their only big one when they hit it. Yeah, no, I think they did come out with other albums, but this was their big one. This was 1991. Um, so they were kind of hitting the scene late because I believe this is their debut. But they would eventually, not do as well because, that's when grunge really hit as 91, 92 was coming. So a band that's, unapologetically hair metal like this didn't didn't do as well in the 90s as the 90s moved on. So, all right. Just some bands there. Again, some of these are, ones that I've been looking for a while. These hair metal or hair metal adjacent type bands that I had heard of before, but I didn't have their albums. Babylon AD and Tough and yeah, Dirty Looks, Contraband. So I was excited about some of these finds. So Kingdom Come being another one. But yeah, you can never know what you'll find. All right. God bless everybody. Dragonfire out.